Hello, cuties! I need to talk about something that's been sitting in the back of my mind for a long time now, and that is why Final Fantasy XIV Island Sanctuary feels like one of the biggest missed opportunities in the entire game. Now, before anybody grabs their pitchforks and throws their manitats at me, I do like Island Sanctuary. I think it's cozy, I think the music's relaxing, and I think the rewards are very nice. But every single time I step onto my island, I can't help but think about what it could have been. Because when the developers first explained Island Sanctuary, it sounded massive! Like genuinely game-changing. A personal island, farming, animal raising, building structures, social spaces, and minions roaming free! It sounded like Animal Crossing New Horizons mixed in with some Harvest Moon inside Final Fantasy XIV. And while we got pieces of that dream, it also feels like somewhere along the way that vision got scaled back. And honestly, I think the developers themselves hinted at that. When Island Sanctuary was announced, the devs described it as a laid-back personal getaway. You would gather materials, craft tools, build up your own island, raise some animals, grow crops, and expand your land over future patches and just exist there. No stress, no raids, no savage mechanics, just vibes. And on paper, that sounds perfect for Final Fantasy XIV players. Especially because this community does love side content. Look at things like housing, glam collecting, relic grinds, fishing, roleplay, and golden saucer content. People love building little lives inside this game. Which is why Island Sanctuary had so much potential. But I think one sentence from the developers explains everything. We're currently making adjustments to ensure Island Sanctuary won't turn into something that everyone feels forced to play. And I understand that concern. Final Fantasy players already feel pressured to keep up with tomestones, raids, relics, weeklies, and everything else. But in trying to avoid making Island Sanctuary mandatory, it also feels like they accidentally made it feel too shallow. Island Sanctuary should have been player housings. This is probably my biggest opinion. Island Sanctuary should have been our own personal housing space. Not replacing neighborhoods entirely, but at least giving every player a customizable home. Because let's be honest, housing in Final Fantasy has been struggling for years. Limited plots, now we have a lottery system, auto demolitions, and just people aren't able to get any houses. And the game gives us an entire island for ourselves, and yet we still can't place our own house where we want? That still blows my mind. Imagine how incredible this could have been. Building your own cute little college, upgrading it over time, decorating the interiors, placing outdoor furniture anywhere, which yes, you can do that now, but it's still a little limited. Making your own ranch, you can create cute little gardens, you can build a cafe, and just make full-on roleplay spaces. The island already feels like it's halfway there. But instead, we got preset structures, and they do look nice, but they don't feel personal at all. It never truly became our island. It feels more like we were renting it from Tataru. This one hurts especially badly for players without housing, because Island Sanctuary introduced a farming system, but that system stayed locked only to the island. Why? This could have solved one of the most frustrating problems in Final Fantasy XIV, gardening access. For years, players without houses have struggled getting access to gardening features, and one of the biggest examples is the Thanavnerian onions. Your chocobo needs 10 of these to fully rank up to rank 20, and you cannot get this item without buying the seeds from the market board. Or if you have a small or larger house, you can actually crossbreed plants to get the seeds. But for newer players or players without housing, that process can be rough. You cannot crossbreed plants without having a house. You can grow the onion inside a house or an apartment, but you're paying the market war rates, which occasionally those onion seeds can go up to 100k to 500k depending on the patch cycle. Now, imagine if everyone had access to meaningful gardening through their island. Not just simplified crops for workshop materials, but actual crossbreeding and a gardening system. This could have been the perfect opportunity to move the gardening system of Final Fantasy XIV into the island, and it became its own isolated system. But instead, it's completely locked out from all players, and now not everybody can have access to the different gardening crossbreeding plants. This is another big one for me. The devs talked about raising animals, and when I heard that, my brain immediately imagined something closer to ranching, breeding, caring for the cute little babies, watching creatures grow over time and leveling them, and instead we capture fully grown animals with a net. And then we collect materials for them from the workshop. That's not really raising at all. That's fantasy livestock management. And I think there's so much untapped potential here. Imagine this instead. You find a rare egg around the island, or you rescue a baby creature. You nurture them over time, you feed them, watch them evolve through growth stages. Maybe rare weather conditions create unique animal variants. Maybe animals could bond with you. Maybe certain creatures unlock unique interactions or cosmetics. That would have made the island feel so much more alive. Instead, most players eventually optimize the pasture into spreadsheets and efficiency charts. And once systems become spreadsheets in MMOs, that magic starts disappearing. And also, where's my horses? Oh my gosh. This one is one of the personal reasons for me why I feel like Island Sanctuary is such a missed opportunity is where's my island's horses? Where are they? I need them. One of the most heartbreaking things was seeing horses in the concept art and not really getting them in game. And listen, I know concept art changes. I understand things get cut during development, but still, Final Fantasy has been rarely given us traditional horse mounts ever since ARR. That's when the ARR we had the primal horses, and expansions kind of twisted and turned into like dragons, robots, birds, futuristic mounts, and occasionally a couple meme mounts here, which are cool, but I miss horses. Island Sanctuary could have been perfect for this. Let me raise chocobos, horses, build some stables. Let me live my cozy fantasy dream life. Square Enix, please, let me have this. So I just want to become fantasy horse girls in Final Fantasy XIV. It feels like the island was never fully realized, and honestly, I don't think this is entirely because of bad design decisions. I generally think that the team ran out of time and resources or developmental bandwidth. Because when you compare the original explanations to what we received, it feels like there's a gap. Not a terrible gap, but there's definitely a noticeable one. The bonds of something incredible are there. You see the ambition, you see the dream. And I think that's why people still talk about Island Sanctuary with mixed feelings today. Because it's not bad, but it's actually pretty charming. It also feels like a prototype for something bigger. Something that could maybe the team originally wanted to do, but couldn't fully commit to. Which maybe that's alluding to the cosmic exploration. And I do want to be fair here. Island Sanctuary did succeed in some ways. The atmosphere is fantastic, the music is cozy, and I love that I can change the music at a whim, and watching the minions roam around is adorable. The rewards are pretty solid, and I honestly think it was healthy for the FF14 development team to experiment with a slower lifestyle type of content, because not every system needs to be combat focused. I actually hope they keep experimenting with this content in the future expansions. Looking at cosmic exploration. I just hope the next time they go all the way with the idea. At the end of the day, Island Sanctuary feels like a glimpse into an alternative version of Final Fantasy XIV. One where the player housing is far more accessible than it is now. One where gardening was expanded. One where animal raising was deeper. One where players could truly create their own little life on an island. And honestly, I still hope someday they revisit the concept, but because the foundation is there. The community clearly loves cozy content, and I think another attempt is necessary. Square Enix could create something genuinely unforgettable, but what do you think? Do you love Island Sanctuary? Do you think it was wasted potential? Or am I just coping because I wanted fantasy horses? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hang out for more cozy Final Fantasy XIV discussions. You can always check out my mentor grind videos or my achievement grinding. I'll see you next time, cuties. Bye-bye!